top recruit last year is got a scholarship to Stanford. The girls women's team that just won the national championship.
They just won the NCAA championship.
We were talking about doing the interview in all Tagalog.
Ano ba yan? I'm good, but I would probably need some time to refreshen up. You know, kaya pare. Kaya. Wala problema.
Ayun naman pala eh.
Galing.
Okay, guys, this is the Locker Room Talk Show, and we are here with PBA legend and former PBA import. Of course, he needs no introduction. Former Alaska Milkman, Mr. Sean Chambers. On the wheel. See, this is a
Thank you.
Hi, Coach. How you doing?
Mabute. Salamat.
There you go.
Pretty good.
We're glad you could join us today.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you guys invited me. Always happy to connect with my Filipino people and show my love for all the many great things that they've done for me in the Philippines.
Yep.
Yes.
Definitely, we love you.
How's your Tagalog though? I mean, before this started, we were talking about doing the interview in all Tagalog.
Ano ba yan? I'm good, but I would probably need some time to refreshen up. You know, kaya pare. Kaya. Wala problema.
Ayun naman pala eh.
Galing.
Magaling si Coach.
Magaling talaga.
So, Coach, it was great seeing you last year in that little tournament that we did, and this is kind of going to be sort of like a continuation. So I know you have this organization that you created, JBS. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So yeah, I created this club basketball program for young women to empower young women basketball players out here in Sacramento. And the JBS stands for Just Believe Sports. So I started that just to kind of, help kids that were in my community to perform basketball-wise and get them a chance to. Are you guys there? I don't know if I lost you.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
just the camera.
we can hear you, but we lost your video, but we can hear you.
There you go.
When you're back, you're back. Okay.
I got a phone call because I'm zooming from my phone. But so I started the program, and it just kind of helped women get into college, and some of the programs I started helping. And now it kind of blew up to a major Adidas sponsor program where we usually have between about 100 to 130 kids in the program.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And our top recruit last year is got a scholarship to Stanford. The girls women's team that just won the national championship.
They just won the NCAA championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Mike was pulling for that team, right, Mike?
Yeah.
That's Mike's team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
Mike
it started really
is,
small and kind of blew.
Okay, because Mike is originally, before he came down to Southern California, he was in NorCal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it's good, and I also coach a high school women's program team out here. We're the top team in Sacramento. We've been the number one ranked team for the last 2 years, and for the third year, we're ranked number one again.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But I am I'm making a transition, hopefully, to the men's side here real quick.
Oh, really?
And I try to see the things that I do with Alaska that when I go back to Alaska, I get to run the team. And I love to see, we work on so many, fundamental sound things when it goes to the girls' game. And it's really fun to see, the professionals do it and do it at a higher level. But it all translates to the same, putting the basketball into the hoop and playing for one another. You know what I mean? Basketball is the same no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Coach, so is it the program that you're putting? Of course, it's a diverse program. meaning like
Oh,
all ethnicities are welcome, whether it's yeah. So,
yes.
uh, so is it any different than teaching the men's game to women?
You know,
How,
like I was saying, when I go back and consult with Alaska, it's all the same, but it's just faster, quicker, stronger. But the ability to help the guys create open looks, the ability to help the guys to get shots and work with one another as a unit is still the same as it is with the girls' game. They're just not going to get up there and
Mhm.
dunk the ball,
yeah,
you
of
know.
course,
But
of course.
concepts, execution, timing, it's all the same. It all works on the same side as the boys and the girls.
Mhm. And I guess you have a strong affiliation with the Filipino community because you've been involved with a lot of programs that's been part of the Phil-American community. How's
Yeah.
connection going on, Coach?
Say that again.
How's that connection? Is it still evolving? Any
Uh,
update on that connection?
so I'm still working with Alaska as a consultant. I still work closely with Mr. Uitensu and Coach Jeff Cariaso for Alaska. Of course, everybody knows that I have such an amazing relationship with Coach Tim Cone. So the last time I was in the Philippines, I was able to work with him with the Philippine national team, and also the 2 years before that, I was working with Coach Chot Reyes when he was in charge of Gila's program. So, you know, I've been really lucky and blessed that, you know, I've always maintained great relationships with all my old teammates and coaches in the Philippines, and they continue to value my input when it comes to any parts of teaching the game of basketball to the young guys in the Philippines.
So Mike kind of mentioned, you know, you have a diverse program there in Sacramento, and then when you were here in Orange County last year when we were doing the tryout for the Gilas women's, is there any differences between, you know, the U.S. women's and then the Filipina women's playing?
I have to tell you, man, I'm very impressed with some of the young Filipino girls that were there at the camp for the Gilas. I mean, they're very skilled and very talented. The challenges that we know, like certain parts of Asian basketball, is that height. You know, how tall are they? You know, when you can see some girls that are taller, you know, they got a little bit more of an advantage. But the skill-wise, the energy, the hard work, it was so wonderful to see the young women from Philippine descent working out at that basketball camp, because they really are a reflection of the country. The people work hard, they work well together, and they're very skilled, and they're very creative in their nature, right? Creativity is natural to the Filipino people, a lot of creativity, and it was just a joy to watch. When it comes to like comparing them to American kids, it's just some of the Filipinos are just not as big as some of the local Americans.
Mm-hmm.
But skill-wise, they're good.
Okay.
Because yeah, I was curious because you're one of the best below the rim players that I've ever seen in the PBA. I mean,
Salamat.
yeah, you can go up with guys. I mean, probably 4 inches more your size. So maybe you've been teaching that mindset with the rest of the players that you've been under your program.
Well, yeah. So in my program, you know, believe it or not, I think I have about 20 young women in my program that are Filipino.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So that's a big number. Yeah, I got a big number of Filipino young women that are in my program, and it's funny because the parents are all starstruck, and the kids don't get it. You know, the parents saw me playing in the Philippines. The kids are going, "Nice, Sino, like Sino, who's this guy? Like, what's the big deal about this guy?" And the parents are all like, "Oh no, he's a celebrity in the Philippines, and you know, he's a legend."
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to watch their expression when their parents are all going crazy to take pictures with me in practice.
You gotta share your mixtape with them.
Oh, yeah, I can do that for sure.
Well, you mentioned that you're sponsored by Adidas. I take it that's not something that's easily done. Can you tell us a little bit about how that happened?
So I was basically what we usually call an independent program, where I just kind of built my program and kind of been doing things on our own. And then eventually a program like Adidas comes to us and go, look, we are hearing a lot of great things about your team and your kids and the amount of scholarship your kids are getting. We would like to have you guys under our umbrella for our circuit. So Adidas sponsors 32 teams across the United States. Mm-hmm. So it's a very rare group to be a part of.
Wow.
So I'm one of 32 programs across the United States that is sponsored by Adidas.
So they basically saw that the girls that were in your program were getting these scholarships, and that's kind of what got their attention.
Exactly, and and we've been just a very successful program.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
So how's the recruitment for your program? How does it go? Do they come to you, or how's your recruitment? How do you pitch? How do you pitch the program to them?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of everything. So a lot of referrals, and a lot of kids hear about my program, and so they want to play for me in Sacramento. We're one of the biggest programs in Northern California. So a lot of parents will reach out to me and say, hey, I got a daughter, she's pretty good. We want to try to see if we can get you on your team. But then I'll also see some kids and I'll go, wow, this kid is pretty amazing. She got a bright future. So I will go out and recruit them as well, too, if they can bring value to my program.
Okay. Very good. Ooh. So, Coach, can you hear us? Because we lost your video.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Let me get back to it.
So Mike mentioned something earlier about, you playing in the PBA and below the rim, but I read somewhere where you actually won a dunk contest in the past.
Yes.
Is that true? And if it is, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, man, the dunk contest is legendary because I beat Billy Ray Bates.
Oh, wow, you beat Billy Ray Bates.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I beat Billy Ray Bates in my first dunk contest in the Philippines. So it was pretty legendary because Billy Ray Bates, at the time was the Black Superman and one of the biggest stars in the Philippines.
Yes, so I remember.
I was there with my all-star program team, the IBA, and Billy Ray Bates was like in his prime playing for Coach Jaworski's team. Uh-huh. So I go, and I win the first round, and it goes to the second round, and then I end up upsetting Billy Ray Bates in his big dunk contest in the Philippines. It instantly became a legend when that happened. So
wow. So you weren't in the PBA yet at that time, and he was already, right?
He was already in the PBA.
But you weren't at that time.
No, I was not there at that time.
Oh, okay. So
I think I remember you were in an exhibition team then, or a regular team that was playing exhibition games in the Philippines.
Yeah, say that again. I'm sorry.
You were in a traveling exhibition team in the Philippines then, as far as I remember. Yeah, and then...
traveling exhibition team, so it was awesome, man. It was my first time to the Philippines. I got a chance to meet a lot of people, a lot of close friends. And again, it was the first year was the first time I realized the love of basketball for the Philippines was crazy. I grew up in California where we think we're pretty big time when it comes to basketball and sports. But when I got there and saw the amount of love and how crazy the fans were about the PBA and about the basketball game, it was so mind blowing. It was like really, I can't even put into words how crazy it was, because when I beat Billy Ray Bates in that dunk contest, I remember walking down Royal House Boulevard, because we were staying at all the hotels on Royal House Boulevard back in the day, right? Yes, before, Makati blew up in Metro Manila. Well, I'm walking down to do a Dunkin' Donut after I won the contest and didn't realize I became an instant celebrity. And I think probably about 500 people ended up following me into the Dunkin' Donut.
Oh, wow. That's so appropriate. You just won a dunk contest and you're going to the Dunkin' Donuts.
That's the way to say it.
Magaling talaga.
Magaling talaga. So it was, and then I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I knew then I wanted to go back to the Philippines, but I didn't go back to the Philippines until a year later when Alaska picked me up.
Oh, okay.
After that year, it was 13 years straight after that.
Wow, amazing. So I know like a lot of the Filipinos know your career in the Philippines. I'm not sure if they know how you got started. So can you tell us about, I know you played here in the US, Cal Poly, and then also before that. And then I also heard or read that you were also in track and they were trying to get you to also be on a track team. Can you tell us a little bit of history about yourself? I know this is going way back, but
Galimo, look at you did your research though. Galimo,
yes.
You did good research. So when I was in high school, I was a high jumper as well. So I high jumped 7 foot in high school, and then when I went to college, I also jumped for one more year. But I just, I started playing basketball really late. Actually, I didn't really get good in basketball until after my junior year in high school. My sophomore year, I was pretty good, not great, but I was, I had, as you guys know, I had a really high motor. Like, I really wanted to, a lot of energy, and I wanted to be good. I wanted to work as hard as I could in everything I did. So my junior year in the high school, I just got this crazy work ethic that I just wanted to be, like, driven in everything I do. So my junior year to my senior year, I had this tremendous jump how good I became.
Wow.
And it was just basically the thing that made me successful in the Philippines was the same thing that made me successful everywhere I went, because I had this mindset I would not allow any player or any team have more desire than me or work harder than me. So, Mr. 100% award, kind of a natural fit, because that was my skill level. I wasn't the best shooter. I wasn't the one with the flashy moves, but I always knew nobody was going to outwork me on the basketball court. I knew it. No, every game, every day. And I knew the other team, like when we saw JBS Organization, yeah, and his daughter's really good. She's going to be a really good player.
Yes.
So, Sophie, right? Is that her name, Sophie?
Yes, Sophie. Yes, Sophia.
Good. So, what I would tell you, Yvette, when we were there in that camp, I told Yvette, my whole mindset was I wanted Yvette and all the guys, the local Terry Sardania, and those guys that had to cover me, Patrimonio, like, I wanted them to be thinking, like, oh my God, this guy's going to be crazy all game. He's never going to stop. So I wanted to be thinking about that.
You want to be in their mind, right?
To be in their mind so they can focus on their own game, And so it worked, I was part of 7 championships, so it was just all work ethic.
Well, I know I can see that when we saw you in Orange County, when you're running those practices, you still got that energy. I mean, it's still there. It's as if you're still playing the game. So that's excellent and exciting to see. And I know you're also a legend in Cal Poly, right? You have some records there.
Yeah, I'm in the Hall of Fame. I was inducted to the Cal Poly Hall of Fame. I was 2-time league champion there and 2-time MVP of the league when I was playing at Cal Poly. And I have a legacy also there that will last for a lifetime. To have your name hanging in the Hall of Fame wall will be there to the forever of that university. So that's definitely an accomplishment I'm very proud of, and I was very proud to be able to have the success at Cal Poly because it was such a wonderful place to go to school.
Yeah, I went to Cal Poly.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, bro.
There you go, alumni.
Alumni, that's my thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. So I've lived a blessed life, so I'm very lucky. But I also think luck comes to those that work for it. You put in the work. I think God will always bless you if you work hard.
So did you? Because you said you're from California. Were you originally from Southern California or Northern California?
No, I'm from Sacramento, so I pretty much did all my schooling at elementary school here in Sacramento. So I'm back home where I kind of grew up at, and I really do love the Sacramento community as well because it's done well for me as well here.
I see. So when you went to Cal Poly, obviously that wasn't in Sacramento. So that was your little time away from Sacramento.
Yeah, it was my time away from home. But honestly, it kind of prepared me for the Philippines a little bit because being at a university and it's a college town, everybody, it's such a college environment there. And so when I started to become successful being a basketball star there and everybody in the community knew who I was able to somewhat maintain, to stay humble and always wanted to put my teammates, I wanted my teammates to enjoy be part of my success. I didn't want to be like, it's a me thing, And so when I got to the Philippines, and when I became somewhat of a celebrity in the Philippines, I was kind of prepared to be in the limelight because of college, if that makes sense.
So just for our audience, because there's 2 Cal Polys, so just want to make sure Cal Poly.
Everybody's on the same page, yeah.
San Luis Obispo versus Pomona.
No, only one. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. That's the
There you go. The slow, right? Slow.
Yeah.
So wait, I think Art went to the other one.
I went to
Right,
the other
Art,
one.
Okay. It's not the right Cal Poly.
It's not the right. He was a substitute.
Yeah, because when you
Well, it's closer to our house. So.
yeah, no, because I was gonna say when you mentioned College Town, I knew it was San Luis Obispo because I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, he went to the Broncos. We were the Mustangs.
Yes, exactly. Oh, go ahead, Mike. I think Mike was gonna say.
No, I was just curious about your journey before the PBA and after college. How did you evolve as a basketball player? Like, who did you play for before the PBA?
So, like I said, we had this thing called the IBA All-Stars that took us to that tour to the Philippines and Korea and Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So then they started the league. The NBA was a 6'5" and under league here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of the draft picks for the original team. And so that tour we did was for that league, like the World Basketball League or what it's called, I think it was. So really, I had 1 year gap where I was supposed to play with them. I became like an alternate player for the team in Fresno, and then Coach Tim and them called me actually that summer of that year. So I had a year off. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and then I got called from the Philippines, and there I went.
Wow,
So
the rest is history.
So Manila was really my first professional job.
Oh, your first professional international stint ever.
Yeah, the first professional job where I got paid to play was in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. Aside from Manila, I'm sure there are also gaps, like conference gaps.
Sure.
Where you able to play? Yeah.
Yeah. So again, because of my success in the Philippines, it opened up so many doors for me. So as we started winning championships, I started getting calls from other countries. So I ended up playing 1 year during the gap with the conference. I went to Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Asia twice when I played with Bobby Parks, Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
I Asia. I played 2 summers in Canada, which was a great. I love playing in Canada. It was a phenomenal league in Canada, and I played Hong Kong for a little bit.
Oh, okay, Hong Kong. That's not too far from the Philippines.
No, and the funny part about that was everybody that I would see on Sunday hanging out at the park were Filipinos.
In Hong Kong.
Diba?
Yeah. So you just kind of felt comfortable right there, right?
Yeah.
Fit right in.
And also Singapore. So
okay.
Singapore.
I have one of the best stories ever. I was in Singapore, I was actually went to the Singapore during our Grand Slam season. I went over there to go take a little break. I had a 10-day off, so I went over there for a little vacation. And I'm standing in line to get a taxi. And there's this Filipino guy, you can tell he recognizes me. And he looking back at me, and he looks up like, there's no way this can be, right?
Am I dreaming here? He's probably thinking.
Are you really weird? that is so Filipino. So he keeps looking at me, then he goes like this. Like, shoot the ball, and I go,
Yeah, like
He's like, you play basketball, right?
yeah, and of course, I was trying to be quiet in Singapore. I was just trying to relax, right? So of
Yeah.
course, when he does this, yes, he goes, "Oh my God, it's you!"
ikaw pala yan. Oh my God.
Like, you, oh my God. And so he goes, and then all the Singaporeans are going, "Who is he, right? Who's this guy?" The Filipino arena taking a bunch of pictures and signing autographs, and everybody's going, "What is going on?" You know?
Yeah.
He blew your cover.
Blew my cover. Yeah, I'm just a nobody in Singapore. You know, back then when we were super successful in Manila, we were like major celebrities. We couldn't go anywhere without people knowing us in Manila.
Yes.
Yeah. So
When
you've
we won
been living.
for 95 and 96 and 97, we were like so famous and popular in the country.
So you're like the Beatles there, right?
We were like, right? It was Johnny, Jojo, Bong, and Sean. We were so Johnny, Jojo, Bong, and Sean.
Oh.
There
So
you
you've
go.
been living. Yeah. So you've been living in a suitcase all your life. How's that like moving from place to place just to play basketball?
Well, of course, I've been blessed because I've been able to go to Venezuela, even Australia for a tournament, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, Canada. And the beauty of it is in Hong Kong and Malaysia, I think I got it right. But the beauty of it is I went to all these countries to play basketball where people paid me to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All expense paid, right?
All it's paid.
Yeah.
How nice.
You get to travel the world, all expense paid, and then all you got to do is play basketball.
Yeah.
And
But food was never a problem for you. You never had a hard time adjusting.
Never. Masarap talaga. Food everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Masarap talaga. Everywhere I went, no problem.
Well, obviously outside of the Philippines, all these places you traveled, you mentioned you like Canada. Is there any other countries? And also, why did you like Canada?
I like Canada because I didn't realize how diverse it was. I was in Calgary, and there's such a major diversity over there that you had no idea. Because I never in my life experienced, didn't think anything about going to Canada or anything about the country, the culture. And, there's a lot of Filipinos there. There's a lot of Indians there. There's a lot of different people from all over the world that's in Canada. And they're such wonderful people. They're very structured. A lot of things work well, like from their public transportation to traffic to, just really a very friendly, loving place to go visit to play basketball. And then I really enjoyed Indonesia.
Yeah, that's not too far from the Philippines.
Yeah, not far from the Philippines. And I would always get a chance to go back and forth from when I was playing in Indonesia. And I could go back to my condo in Manila for like a day or two. Then I can go back to Indonesia because it was so close together. But I really enjoyed Indonesia. I love the food. I love the culture. And it was another unique place for me to visit because, you have a lot of Indonesians there that are strict Muslims.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have another part that's not strict Muslims. And then you have the middle of the pack Muslims, right? So I've never been in a Muslim country. So to be able to go there and kind of maneuver and figure out how everything works there I really enjoyed it. I loved the fact that I was in a different culture. And, if anybody, I don't know if you guys ever had the opportunity to go to Indonesia, but there's a call to prayer every morning across the country.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
okay.
wow. National, huh?
Wow. Right? So it was a neat place to visit, And then because you're living in, I was living in Jakarta, like Bobby Parks was there too.
Oh,
yeah.
You can hop on a plane and you can go to Bali in 1 hour.
Oh wow.
And then Bali is such an amazing tourist spot for everybody in the world, you know.
Yeah,
So I was able
everybody
to go to
goes
Bali, you know.
Yep. But my respect to Bobby Parks. Bobby, thank you very much. We were just thinking about you. So
Yes.
yeah. So with all your international travels, it makes sense about your program because you've experienced so much diversity in your career, and then here you are, manning a program that's diverse, and it's women's basketball too. So
Right.
so your experiences and how you communicate your experience for them is very rich. I'm sure.
Yeah, and what I'm all about is I want all my kids and my players to have empathy, support for one another, and to play for one another. Basically, the Alaska way, you know. And we get success. You know, we get success through one another. So, yeah, that's how I run my program.
Very good, very good.
So yeah, Mr. Chambers, thank you very much for your time. In behalf of Noel, Art, and myself, and of course our sponsor, Top Digital Studios, we would like to thank you for your time. It was nice to see you again, and hopefully, if we can really get in touch, maybe you can give us some updates about what's happening on your program and about Philippine basketball in general.
Sure, I would love to. And like, I keep getting calls here and there for programs in the Philippines. Maybe one day I'll head back. I don't know, but I'm always willing to listen and see what people have to say. Always.
And
if you're ever here, go ahead. Sorry.
And we will, if ever, we're gonna try and get the word out that you have this program.
And if you're ever here in Southern California, don't be shy and contact us.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not. Do I have you take me out for a nice meal?
Oh,
Yes.
There you go. Filipino food.
Sir.
Yan, masarap, masarap.
Yes. Well, good. Thank you guys as always.
All right, Sean.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
Really enjoyed
All right.
talking to you guys.
Thank you very
All right,
much,
thanks, Coach.
Coach.
All right.
All right, good night. Bye.